Hey guys, it's Zeki from Tier Zero Games here, and we're here with the fellow sponsor player Ben Robertson
Hi.
and Matthew Chen.
So,
And today we're going to discuss the profile that I used to get second in Swiss 6-1 at the recent YOS event. There was only 67 players, but the field was quite packed of good players. And Ben, who also played the same list, got 10th place and unfortunately missed out on top 8 because it's due to tiebreakers. But the list performed well for both of us, and we're going to quickly run through it. Hope you guys enjoy. So the first, the Adamante package is standard, really. The free analyzers, the free seekers, and the free researchers. I don't think there's any debate about this. They're all really good extenders, and they're all combined together. The free block dragon, it's kind of obvious. Playthrough Nimbiru. The free guardians, standard as well. The Tenyi is one of the best extenders. The tuner, it synergizes with unexpected die as it requires no monsters or normal monsters to special, so you can steal unexpected die and activate Tenyi. Tackle Crusadia. Any opinions on this, guys?
I think it's useful. It complements how many decks can do.
It just has general nice utility against a variety of matchups, especially with rogue stuff like Sun and Limit.
Yeah, it has little neat interactions as well. Like when you side in Midbreaker, and despite Midbreaker they still hand trap you. Which the play I did during the tournament is I made IP and I made Unicorn. Unicorn discard Tackle Crusader to bounce the Midbreaker. This was against a Rock Mirror match, and then using Tackle Crusader to book a Moon, their first Rock summon, and it ended up ending their turn. So there's little niche stuff, and you can always search it with Block Dragon if you know if your only plays IP for like the double interrupt of the spin and then the bounce. It has some neat new utility, but it's debatable whether you want it. We just wanted more rock counts overall, but we will follow on with that of card that we potentially could replace it with. Next, the free Pedingsus. This is super standard. This is one of the best extenders again. Earth is everything you really want. Earth level 4. It does conflict with the siding, but that's where you side it out during after you side. Doki Doki, arguably one of the best cards in the deck. Tailors, baits, hand traps. It's just a really, really good level 2 as well. And it's a rock that's getting summoned off the Adamantes. Gigantus combo. We decided to play 2 targets. Any opinion on these guys?
Personally, for me, like 2 targets came up a lot, especially with unexpected die, like baiting out petty negate. And if you draw one target, being able to go into the link slide to get the other, to get 3 bodies for negates for baiting out was quite valuable.
I agree, and the extra rock also is really big with the beta. The synergy, with Link Spider, because Link Spider is part of the combo anyway, so it has the synergy there. Overall, I think it's really good. If we had to cut one, it'd probably be beta, but I think both of them, they're not really bricks ever. They're rock cards, or the tuners, they're level 4, like Earths. They always block Dragon for the minimum. The O-Line for the combo. Now this card is interesting. Gate Plucker we decided to play. So, due to recent meta changes, Sky Striker and Mystic Mind decks starting to increase in popularity. So we decided to play Gate Blocker. Obviously it's a level 4, it's Earth, and it has 3 uniquely weird but useful effects. The first effect, as you can see, is negate field spells, which it doesn't activate, which means you have a main deck out for Mystic Mine, or if you know you're going against Striker, as the replay we're going to show you at the end, you can search it with the Block Dragon, you can shotgun IP, so you instantly have the Mystic Mine out, which is super useful. It has a really good effect, uniquely for Pendulums, of they can't control counters. They can't put counters on card, but overall the most useful effect by far is your opponents can't target other cards you control. So a way of seeing this is like another Guardian. So you can summon it off of any of the Adamancipator, and then your Crystal Needle Fiber can't be targeted, which is really good because it's like, so Guardian doesn't play through Imperm, but it plays through all the monster hand traps. But Gate Blocker doesn't play through Nibiru, but it plays through all the Imperm, Veiler, Ghost, whatever it's called. So it seems really good.
Moonlit.
Overall, I would consider playing 2 more Gate Blockers over 2 more Tackle Crusaders, as it has the same sort of synergy, but it's just almost like a better target to summon, and having multiple main deck outs, because you often use Gate Blocker because you grind through your whole deck, summoning random monsters. You often use Gate Blocker before, and then if they manage to resolve Mystic Mine, you're in quite a dangerous situation.
With Mystic Mine, it's also important to note that if you know you're against Sky Striker, you can prematurely use the IP and get a Gate Blocker.
Yeah.
And because you're on a gate like Dragged Out will remain, you can just normal summon Gate Blocker, and even if they have a Widow Anchor, you can just negate it with Dragged Out, and then you can just kill them.
Okay, yeah, because it doesn't activate. So the moment it's summoned, Mystic Mine negate. There, if they even attempt to Widow Anchor you, all your board will be alive again. The next card, it was our 41st card. Any insight on this, Ben?
It's quite valuable just as a, especially after turn 1 when you've used your rep type. Getting access to your level 8 synchros for game can be a bit more difficult, which is just really good for that, just general utility, and there's an extra extender to make IP.
Agreed. It's often really useful if you start your combos with one of the main level 2 tuners. It allows you just to have another extender that isn't Gigantus, that doesn't require anything else on board. So overall, I would probably keep it going forward. But
like in general, to me, it just increased the utility of Block Dragon, like later on turns.
Yeah. The only disadvantage, the only reason that it is a bit contradiction is Esteban is a tuner, so it's not necessarily a starter a lot of the times. And the second reason is it's a dart, which often collides with Block Dragon, but it's not a major thing. You usually are able to resolve its banish effect most of the time. So next card, Foolish Burial, the 4th Block Dragon. There's no reason not to play it. Block Dragon just allows you to play through everything. The 3 Unexpected Die, as we were saying, probably one of the best extenders. It's a tuner, it's a level 4, it's an earth, like everything you want from a card. It doesn't contradict with anything. Unless you're going second, it contradicts with Analyzer, but going first, it doesn't contradict with anything in your deck, which is just a phenomenal card overall. It allows you to make the rank 4 straight off the bat, to bait out hand traps, etc. Next, we decided to main 5 hand traps. Overall, it wasn't for the mirror we decided to main these 5 hand traps. It was more Eldritch Synchro. Shout out to Tristan and Gabe who discussed the theory with this. Eldritch Synchro always, if they can make the VFD combo, that's the one combo the deck cannot manage with. VFD is an auto lose. We can't beat that. So we decided to make 5 hand traps. 5 hand traps give us above 50% chance, which means every time we lose a die roll, and we have a 50% chance of seeing a hand trap against Eldritch Synchro. And with Eldritch Synchro, they're super reliant on the Needle Fiber to go through. So 1 hand trap is enough, and the rest of, if we can stop Needle Fiber, the 1 to 2 interrupts of trap cards they have, it should be easy to play through. These are the 5 hand traps we chose because Imperm is by far the best one. It can't be stopped or anything, and it hits all matchups because there were the increase of Sky Striker and Road decks. So unlike Nibiru, which can't hit decks like Sky Striker or virtually never hits Sky Striker and all these other Road decks, whereas these 5 hand traps we thought had the best coverage overall.
Sorry, I was just going to mention with Imperm, it does. The only way to stop it right now is Gate Blocker, which is one of the reasons we played it, which makes Gate Blocker even more valuable as Imperm usage rises because it's difficult to stop.
Yeah. For side deck, we decided to play 3 Effect Veilers. The reason we decided that was against the mirror match, you need to see a 2 hand traps minimum to have a chance to break their board. So we decided to play Veiler as it's not once per turn. The other 2 hand traps we played, other card for the Rock Mirror and the Eldritch card is Token Collector. This is what we debated against Ghost Cherries, Winter Cherries. We decided on Token Collector as it's level 4 Earth, which it synergizes with the deck, and the unique effect of it having a graveyard hand trap as well. So past turn 1, if they hand trap you back and you pass again, Token Collector in graveyard is still going to summon and swap them again. And it's a reoccurring thing, so they will never be able to go into their token plays with Eldritch Synchro. No material, we thought it synergized with the deck. Obviously, it's an Earth, but mainly we thought if we hit Needle Fiber, if we hit Link Cross, any of these things, it's a high impact card, and it's will usually stop the Eldritch Synchro decks and the mirror match as well. The third Nibiru for any matchups like Salad and any the mirror and Eldritch Synchro. We played Nibiru at 3 despite it being a hard once per turn, just because it's the most blowout hand trap against these rogue decks. It's always a guaranteed stop basically. Pankratops, it's fairly obvious. It's good against every deck, especially if someone summons Savage in defense. You're able just to summon it, smack over. Even better if they use Union Carrier and attach Buster Drake to it. That's like the best situation. You can just attack and then tribute and pop another. Midbreaker. So we decided to play Midbreaker and 2 exchanges. Midbreaker just seemed a bit more useful as the use of it's a sort of gate blocker card which negates hand traps, but it's obviously not a normal summon, and it has a lot of synergy with the deck. All your negates don't really target. Unicorn is the only one that targets, but you can just make an Apollo. You're not restricted, and you don't really negate and destroy too much. And the Herald, especially in the mirror, is used on like hand effects and stuff like that. Overall exchange was also amazing. Amazing for me. How was it for you, Ben?
Exchange was great. It allowed me to play through multiple hand traps, and especially in grind games, it allowed me to take engine cards out of their hand. So they had no guaranteed recovery despite having interruptions.
Agreed. And it gives you the knowledge of the hand, which is super important. And we decided on 3 cards going first because our side deck was quite tight and we needed for both going first and second. In our side deck strategy, most of the time, going first, we always side out 2 Nimbirus as Nibiru conflicts with exchange, so we wouldn't want that. And we side out the 3rd Imperm. So this will give us a more consistent main deck and a better chance to play through their opposing hand traps. Next, we decided on 2 Lightning Storms and 1 Red Reboot. Initially it was 3 Lightning Storms, but Red Reboot is too much of an insane card against all these decks that we had to play it, and Eldritch Synchro doesn't actually play the counter trap, so it's almost a guaranteed stop of all their traps. And there's like increases of like torrential tributes and all these pesky traps, and so we will end up having post side against trap decks. We'll have Reboot, 2 Lightning Storms, and a Pankratops, and a Midbreaker. This is why we end up deciding Midbreaker over the 3rd exchange, as it has synergy going first and second against any of these trap decks that have like Outergeist or Sky Striker. It's able to be an instant blowout for them. For siding plan for going against these heavy combo decks, we made sure we had the right amount of numbers. So for siding, we decided to take out 3 unexpected die, the Beta, the Trumpeter, and the 3 Pedingus. For the 3 Vela, the Nibiru, 2 No Material, 2 Token Collectors, and the Pankratops. And this is the exact right number as well. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in. And Gate Blocker as well. As the Gate Blocker doesn't have that much synergy, only going second, not that much synergy going second. If these 9 cards will, as we side out these cards as they conflict with our other hand traps, like Nibiru conflicts with Unexpected Die, No Material, and Vela conflicts with Pudding Cess, so we didn't want the confliction in our main deck. So the side deck strategy was really strong. We knew what we was doing. There was no hesitation or anything. Anything to add on the side deck strategy?
No, it was nice to have just be able to cleanly cut between the two.
Agreed.
And it didn't really, especially because you get the stick card, it didn't really affect our consistency of being able to combo, at least in my experience.
Yeah, because if you're able to stop them, especially Eldritch Synchro, they end up becoming a really weak board. And there's some cards that also synergize with it, like Token Collector is a level 4 Earth. No materials in Earth Engraved, so it gives you that bit more extra push as well sometimes. So it's almost a pseudo combo fodder, which is useful to have. Next for extra deck, this extra deck is pretty standard. So Link Cross, part of the combo, Link Spider, IP, Apollo, all of these are part of the combo. Dweller is the only one that I didn't really make, in my opinion. I didn't think it was that big because the full Dark Ruler No More, due to cards like Appointer, Exchange, any of these cards, made Dweller, Dark Ruler No More cease to exist. Overall, I feel like I would maybe need an access code talker for these weird situations where I could just blow them out. I'm not sure about you, Ben. How often did you make Dweller?
I made Dweller a fair amount, but I didn't feel a need for it. It was very much kind of, I feel like the 15th slot in the face of Dweller could arguably be a flex spot.
Agreed. For these weirder situations. Next, we're going to show you the insane replay where Ben against our fellow member Matthew Bagley in the YOS. He managed to play through 3 hand traps, and he showed you the power and importance of Gate Blocker against Sky Striker. Okay, so as you can see from Matty's hand, he has 2 Veilers and an Imperm, which is obviously, and he has Hornet Drones for the Sky Striker engine start and a Pot of Desire. So this is the hand any Sky Striker player can wish for, especially against Rock. And as you can see with Ben's hand, it isn't overly impressive. You drew a Block Dragon, double Inspector die, you have 2 normal summons. It's not insane, but you'll see how he piloted it and what the end result was. So Summon Trumpeter. So the first Veiler down. I agree with Matty's display here to stop Analyzer. Just because he has 3 hand traps, you might as well stop any way, shape or form of them getting Guardian on board. And then he drops the second Veiler on the Kriston. Second hand trap on the Kriston. And despite this, the third hand trap is still coming. So Ben then banishes for Block Dragon. The main reason they're able to play through in this situation was due to Block Dragon, but how Ben pilots this to get the board he ends up getting is still impressive despite through 3 hand traps. I'll skip to the end where Ben did the smart play because he knew obviously this is a game 3 against Sky Striker, what he was going against and what he decided to do, and the reason that Gate Block is so good in this deck.
Just looks insane, I'm not gonna lie.
As you can see, through 3 hand traps, he managed to make IP, Dragite as a spell and trap card in the gate, a Guardian, and a Block Dragon, which is insane if you consider the deck. Like, and he would have been able to play through an Imberu, he would have been able to do so much more at this point. And you'll see what he does next, which basically capitalizes on the game. As you can see, Matty's drew a Mystic Mine, which could be a blowout in this situation, considering he has a Pot of Desires and Ben only has 1 spell and trap on the gate. But as you will see, how Ben plays this. Quick note here, Guardian doesn't destroy itself because of Block Dragon effect to prevent rocks from dying from card effects. So after the first main phase, as soon as he declares main phase and he activates his first card, Ben decides to Neko Dragite, and then the only thing that can absolutely destroy him now is Mystic Mine. So Ben decides to make IP and link away with Block Dragon, as you'll see. And by searching the gate blocker, it has you have an instant out for the Mystic Mine. As you can see, Matty's Mystic Mine, but he has to play it. Usually, you could Mystic Mine, and then the game would be over at this point. There's no sense of sliding in, going first out necessarily against it, especially when you have gate blocker. And you can see how insane this deck is, and how it's going to be probably the best deck going forward. Eldritch Synchro isn't as powerful as this. It has some different synergies, but overall this seems like the best deck. It's still an insane board for a free hand trap, Mystic Mine, Pot of Desires, a perfect Sky Striker hand, but despite that, was able to play through it. Any last notes to add?
I just personally, I believe the deck is probably the strongest deck going forward, and I feel like there's still room for innovation on it.
Agreed. There's so much. As the meta constantly develops, I feel like there's so many more things we could do with the deck. Any last notes, Jen?
We've got what is it called? Dragma and Noble Knights coming up. I don't know if those decks are any better than this rock deck at the moment, but it'll be interesting to see how the format develops again once they get released.
Agree. It seems hard to do a deck better than this, but be sure we will obviously test the latest decks and we'll let you guys know what we think. Thank you for watching the profile. Insane replay. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to try to release weekly content of different profiles, rogue profiles, competitive profiles. We're trying to make all these different competitive decks alive in this meta. So thank you. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page. Check out the website. All that good stuff. Okay, thank you for watching, guys.